Welcome back to Locked On Blue Jays. We're here in Toronto for Monday's episode as we head back to Winnipeg. What a series to be here for. There was bright spots. There was some dull moments. We'll go over all that next.
You are Locked On Blue Jays, your daily Toronto Blue Jays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On Blue Jays. Thank you for making Locked On Blue Jays your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. We have Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, we're here in Toronto. It's been an absolute blast of a weekend. Some of you joined the live stream. Some of you we've actually met and seen down here. It's been really cool. Taking some pictures, talked some Blue Jays. It's been fun. It's too bad the Blue Jays could only pick up one of 3 wins against the Tampa Bay Rays after Alek Manoah puts on an absolutely electric performance. We have Justin Powers with us joining. Our roommate came on the trip with us. Jarvis is taking a bit of a snoozer.
He's banged up. He just can't hang with the boys, unfortunately. Just some of them just aren't they aren't built for the big city, I guess, and he's clearly one of them.
I'm not going to lie, that this weekend's taken about a toll on us. But Jap, let's start.
We're not done.
Chap, let's start with you. Your overall. Let's go. Let's start with the games. The third segment, if you want to hear sort of what we think about Toronto, stay for the third segment or skip ahead if that's what you want to hear about, I guess. Jap, your initial thoughts on the games this weekend.
But first I just want to say one quick thing. We have a flight tomorrow at 9:30. I think we need to be out of here probably around 6 a.m. maybe or so.
Something like
that. We're going to be going out tonight. But we might not sleep tonight. It might just be, we've stayed up, I think, till 5 a.m. both nights that we've been here. So it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting flight tomorrow.
It's going to be a rough morning, but I mean, I wouldn't want it any other way. I mean, we're only in Toronto probably once, maybe another time this summer. If we're lucky, we'll see what happens. We'll see how the Blue Jays are doing. They're going to have to earn our respect because they didn't earn it this weekend. With overall, Toronto, this place is electric.
It's a great city. It's so fun. It seems like everybody's always up for a good time, to say the least. It seems like the entire city's buzzing, and it seems like it's buzzing all night long. We got to give a couple guys some shout-outs that we've talked about. I'm going to start with John Jay, if you guys want to follow him on Instagram. DJ, absolutely just a beauty. He's been electric the entire time we've been down here. Hitting us up with cool spots, telling us to come by his bar that he was performing at, and he got us some deals along the way. So we really appreciate everything he did for us this weekend. It was a blast as well, Carter. I think we also took a photo, I believe.
We should probably address the elephant in the room. I looked like I had 48 beers in that picture.
Yeah.
I wish I was more drunk in that picture than I actually was, because those first 7 innings were terrible. But I mean, other than that, I think it just caught me on a bad day, unfortunately. But Daniel, who we talked to, was the first fan picture we've ever had. Great guy, genuine dude. This is what all the people that listen to this podcast are going to be like. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Lots of just great people from this area. I know he's going on another vacation, I think. It'll be interesting from Toronto all the way to Honolulu. But Just a great guy. Great experiences. Nothing bad to say about this city or anything that happened this weekend.
No.
Other than the baseball, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Let's start there. Let's go to game 1. No, you know what? Let's start on today's game. I think it's the most interesting.
Danny Berger's legacy game.
Legacy game from Daniel Vogelback. I cannot believe he was a triple shy of the cycle. I mean, it was the earth would have had to open up and swallow the player's whole for that guy to get a triple. But he was close, sort of, and he was hustling to second on his double as well. Holy moly!
See, the thing I like about Daniel Vogelback is this guy either just sells out for a walk, sells out for a strikeout, or sells out for a home run. He hit that double the opposite way down the line, and I almost think he muttered, "God damn it," as he's going out of the box. He actually had to run the bases.
Yeah,
so this guy either just do his home run shot, take his time around the bases, but absolute electricity from Daniel Vogelback this game.
Yeah, he was great. The other guy that I really want to get started with is Alek Manoah. I don't know if it's too early to say that he is back, but oh my goodness, 2 straight games from Alek Manoah that he's looked exceptional in.
Yeah, I'll go over his stat line real quick here. So again, I I noticed, obviously, in the flesh, we noticed that he would look unbelievable. But looking back at the stat line, he only gave up 1 hit. That's just insane. Insane day from Alek Manoah. 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, 0 earned runs, only 1 walk. I believe he hit a batter as well. Might have been 2. 7 strikeouts, 103 pitches. I mean, this guy, especially watching this guy live, it's just absolutely insane. You can see his slider breaking off the face of the world on TV, and it's even crazier in person. Some of the swings and misses he was getting were absolutely nuts.
Yeah, he, you know what, the hit by pitches early on was worrying for sure. We were a little bit concerned, but he totally flipped the script. He had an amazing day. And you know what, I think everybody dogs this guy so much. And I mean, we've been doing it too, but it's because he's been horrible and he's starting to play well. And so, you know, it's one of those things with Blue Jays fans, right, where you're not doing well and, you know, we'll sort of let you hear about it. And then you start doing well and we're right back on your side. So, yeah, props to Alek Manoah. Great day from him. And the Blue Jays just racked it up. So I think from some guys that maybe necessarily we haven't been seeing production from. I mean, Davis Schneider, not his best day, but I think overall a good weekend for him. Vlad, 2 for 4. Vogie, of course, 3 for 4. Springer went 1 for 2, driving in or scoring some runs, driving in 1 as well. Kirk got that double as well.
Yeah, that was actually right on line for us. I wish Kirk ate a little bit more Wheaties that morning. Maybe could have drove the ball out of the park. Justin was going to make a good catch there. He was calling it. Yeah, I was in the home run seat, actually. But, Justin, just overall takeaways, I guess, from Game 3 here.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to see a win. It's been well, the start to the weekend definitely wasn't the greatest. So it was nice to see just a good old fashioned win, I'll say. And man, yeah, just getting to see Alek Manoah. We were sitting in left field today, and so we were watching him during warmups. Holy crap, this guy is just a unit. Like, you don't realize on TV, but man, he's a big human.
He is a massive human being. And they're saying, the word on the streets is Manoah cornrows. This guy's built different now.
Yeah.
It's all the hair. It was always the hair weighing him down. It's just, he's a different breed at this point.
He is. It's crazy. And Justin, I mean, the other thing that I guess we got to talk about, that because we only got to see it this game, was the Jordan Romano entrance.
Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of hate to say it, but I was kind of rooting for a little Tampa comeback just so we could see a Jordan Romano entrance.
Yeah.
It was pretty electric when he got in there. Like, I know they had the 2 outs already. I mean, for Romano even, that's, you know, shouldn't be too much of a worry.
Yeah.
But yeah, just getting to see that place with the light show before and when he's walking out, and yeah, it was definitely a highlight for me to see.
I feel like the haters are going to hate that stat line from Jordan Romano because I believe he qualifies for the save with that 1 out. So I know a lot of people are probably going to say, oh, the 3-run save. I mean, he's getting the job done. You don't want to use Jordan Romano in that situation, but as a fan, for our viewing pleasure, it would have been a little bit nicer if the dome was closed, but it was such a nice day out today, so obviously it wasn't going to happen. But just the production, seeing that as a baseball fan, was definitely fun to see.
Yeah, it was really cool. And you know what? There's a lot more I want to get into, and one guy in particular that I've mentioned already, but I got to give him his props. But we're going to take a quick break here, and then we'll get right into game 1 and 2 as well. Today's episode is brought to you by Policy Genius. Policy Genius is the country's leading online insurance marketplace that saves you time and money so you can provide your family with a financial safety net starting today. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million of coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exams. I always say it. It's something that you don't have to wait until you're older to start looking at. I think it's important that everybody gets, at least has some knowledge, and I think Policy Genius is the place to do that. Policy Genius helps you compare your options from top companies, and their team of licensed experts is on hand to help talk you through it. Your work-life insurance policy may not offer enough protection for your family's needs. Even worse, it may not come with your job when you leave. Policy Genius gives you unbiased advice from licensed expert support team. Check life insurance off your to-do list in no time with Policy Genius. Head to policygenius.com/lockedonmlb or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/lockedonmlb.
Today's episode is also sponsored by Yahoo Finance. Let's get straight to the point. You want to grow your profile portfolio to deal with the rising cost of inflation, to pay off your debt or your mortgage, pretty much anything standing in the way of your financial freedom, right? With Yahoo Finance, you can get access to the news, data, and tools that you need in order to help you reach that financial freedom. For more than 25 years, Yahoo Finance has been the brand behind every great investor. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just looking for extra guidance, Yahoo Finance gives you all the tools and data you need in one place. With a community of over 90 million users each month, the real strength is helping you on your way to financial success. For comprehensive financial news and analysis, visit the brand behind every great investor, yahoofinance.com. The #1 financial destination, yahoofinance.com. That is yahoofinance.com.
Okay, the big topic for me, I think, with all of us, we are Davis Schneider, probably super fans. He's my favorite guy. I know you're a big Varsho guy too. His walk-up song, unbelievable choice. The building goes ballistic. We were playing it in the hotel room the night after. I think it was, what was that, last night? So it'd be Saturday night. We were playing it, and it's unbelievable. It takes you right back to the ballpark. And honestly, just a guy that fires up the entire crowd, eh, Jap?
Yeah. And for anyone who doesn't know, it's Billy Squire, The Stroke. And yeah, it's a really good walk-up song, I got to admit. The place gets pretty nuts when he goes up to bat. So it's, yeah, pretty cool to see. It's
nice to see a guy like that, maybe that, wasn't a super highly touted prospect, come up through the system and become an immediate fan favorite. And he deserves it. Everything that guy's accomplished. It's really cool to see. Carter?
Yeah, his upbringing is absolutely insane. I believe he's a 28th round pick. You don't see them translating this well especially the Toronto Blue Jays, for a team that doesn't really have a great farm system. I could talk all day about Davis Schneider and how good he is. I know we did some fan interviews as well, and one of the things was said about his mustache and how it gets people feeling some type of way. We're not going to spoil too much of that, but one thing that I loved, and we've been talking about a ton on this podcast, is you get Davis Schneider leading off, and you still have George Springer in the lineup, and you move him down to 6, and look what happens. You get the pressure taken off of this guy, and he starts producing. He has an RBI single, I think, both the Saturday and Sunday game. Yes, again, his at-bats, they're not exactly where we want them to be, but let this guy get the pressure off them. Let him hit behind all of these great hitters, and now he's having success, and I think that's a huge product of just the pressure being off him.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think we've seen some improvements with George Springer that we've needed to for a long time. And I know we've been harping on the lineup, but it is important, and don't get me wrong. In today's game, in Sunday's game, Davis Schneider didn't have a great day at the plate. But it's not going to be every game where every guy produces all the time, right? But you got to play a little bit with the percentages, right? Who's going to do better for you in most games? And I think right now, that's Davis Schneider. I do also got to give a shout out to Davis Schneider's sister, Madeline. She's on Twitter if you guys want to find her. I believe it's Schneider Remarks. She is just hilarious, puts out really good tweets. And it's sort of cool to see like a sibling's takes on, coming to watch their brother and stuff. It's really cool. So shout out her as well. I guess game 2, other than that, like some big takeaways from you guys?
Well, we were up 4-0 in this game.
Yeah.
And the Jays find a way to absolutely blow it. Again, it's tough to really compare and visualize the player performances, especially the pitchers, because obviously on TV you're knowing exactly where their location is, what their velo is, stuff like that. The ballpark is just a different experience, especially we were kind of sitting all over the Rogers Center. Obviously, for this game we would have been. Where even were we?
Left field?
No, I meant the Saturday game.
Oh, Saturday, that's right. We were sort of behind the plate-ish.
Kind of behind the Jays dugout in the 200 level.
Yeah,
that's right. All these days are just mashing together. The amount of beers, the amount of Blue Jays games we went to, just a lot of things have happened in a short amount of time, but I'm not complaining about it whatsoever. But when you're up 4-0 in a baseball game, you finally get a little bit of offense, and then you decide to just absolutely throw it with the bullpen. Again, I'm trying not to mix up my days here because, I'm pretty banged up to say the least. But I think that was the game that Nate Pearson came in and just in high leverage, and it just didn't make any sense. Why are you throwing Nate Pearson in the 8th inning?
Yeah, you know what? This game it's hard to say anything because it sucks. And I think we knew that. And that was, I feel like in all of these games, the Blue Jays should have maybe should have won. They didn't deserve the first one. But the second game, I felt like they sort of deserved that one, and it just slipped away. And I know what everybody's going to say. 4 runs isn't good. Why are you so excited? Whatever. It's, you know what, we're going to be excited. We were at the ballpark. We were having a good time. You see a little bit of a different things, right? Like, it was the first time we really noticed, or maybe we just didn't pay attention, but that Chris Bassett pitches out of the stretch.
Yeah, I think that, it's probably likely due to the pitch clock. But again, it's just not something I've ever noticed watching on TV. And I was, first inning, I was like, oh, that's kind of different, right?
Yeah, I'm bad for paying attention to little details like that. That's usually something that I'm not going to pick up on ever. I'm usually just focused on the ball and how far that it's going out of the ballpark, whether it's off a Blue Jays bat or it's one of our pitchers giving it up. With this game, like the 8th straight series that the Blue Jays don't have a win, this team loves just losing series 1 and 2. They go 1 and 2 every single series, and it seems like it's the last game of the series most of the time that they're winning. So you can't be too upset with the product because they give you that one win. But you look back at it in retrospect, this Tampa Bay Rays team is not that good, right?
No, it's not. No.
Especially, we'll go into game 1 in the last segment coming up here. But with these pitchers, you had Zach Eflin, who has been struggling. You get to him a little bit. And then you have Tyler Alexander. We call him Tyler Anderson the entire weekend.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that was happening.
It's in your head. Yeah.
But that guy throws a perfect game through 7 innings. And then you have Aaron Savale on the Sunday game, which they obviously do get to a little bit. But you got to take advantage when teams are struggling. This batting order for the Rays has not been good recently. The Jays are probably worse than the Rays, unfortunately for us. But you got to take advantage of these games, especially division games that you're just ending up throwing away and losing a series to the Tampa Bay Rays in.
Yeah, and that's a little bit the problem. I think it stands out a little bit, especially when you're at the ballpark, of when teams don't have that many great players, you can sort of see it differently. And this Tampa Bay Rays team didn't look like anything special this weekend. And I think that's the problem. And we're going to talk about game 1, obviously. But Alexander, now you got me messed up.
Alexander.
Okay,
Tyler Alexander.
You know what? Let's just hop into it now. Then we'll save the third segment for some preview and some other stuff. Because I need to talk about it. It's just so aggravating. 7 innings of no run or no base runner baseball. We didn't even know what was going on. Like we were having a good time. So we were trying to get beers first day in Rogers Center. We were having a good time, but then we're like it 4th, 5th, 6th inning, and we're like, whoa, we're on perfect game watch here.
Yeah, it didn't even feel like it either. And one thing that I know me and you talked about is we didn't realize how he threw 50 pitches.
It was ridiculous.
7 innings. And we're like, how is this guy being this efficient? I guess an 89.5 mile an hour average fastball is just too much for this team to handle. It is so frustrating. It's different when you get Corbin Burns or something. If you had Shane McClanahan, any of these really good pitchers, obviously McClanahan's injured, but you have a good pitcher and they dial in on you, they make your lineup look silly, you can excuse it a little bit easier. When it's Tyler Alexander, who has just under 6 ERA, and he's throwing 89 and they're whiffing on everything and rolling over, it was so hard to watch as a baseball fan.
Yeah, it's just painful, and especially, it was a little bit of a, what did you call it, Mickey Mouse comeback or whatever?
Make-believe comeback.
Make-believe comeback, sure.
Well, when we're ironically celebrating a hit in the 8th inning by Jano, that there's a problem with the team. But I will say this, that Schneider home run was
unbelievable.
Just scenes from the Rogers Center. And especially because all the fans were cheering very loud when Jano got the hit, obviously, because nobody wants to get perfect game. I guess we got to find a better way to say that.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't happen again. We don't need to use that terminology. But with this game, there was nothing good to say about it.
No.
The only good thing, the way I turned, and again, after the game, I got a little bit more to this point where I looked with Daniel's picture there. But the Bears weren't letting me down. The Blue Jays did. Yes.
And you know what? You said it, that Davis Schneider home run, you can just feel it in, I know we hyped this guy up, but he's the face of the Blue Jays right now. Everybody knows this guy. Everybody loves this guy. It's hard not to cheer for him.
Oh, he makes it so easy to cheer for a guy that just looks like a blue-collar guy who has worked for everything he's got. Nothing's been given to him. You got to take some appreciation in that.
Yeah. Jap, game 1, any other thoughts from you before we sort of get into a third segment here?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's a good thing that it was that was the first, if that would have been the third game and they had got no hit and
That's our last memory of the game.
It was Carter's first game. It was my first game since 2016. Like we were just, all like kind of just going off of like we were on a high. Like it was just we were so happy to be there and watch. And I mean, obviously, not being able to see a single base runner until the 8th inning was just it was something. But yeah, I mean it was a good game. I mean, it was good to see the Blue Jays play live.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much a good game, but it was just cool to be in the Rogers Center. And I mean, yeah, like I said, if that would have been like the Sunday game when that happened, I think I don't want to say maybe that we would have left, but I mean, I think we maybe would have contemplated.
See, I'm just happy that the Jays won on Sunday because now we're still going to be allowed to go to baseball games. We got swept the first time Locked On Blue Jays was in the building. That would have been a tough soak for us, unfortunately.
I was a little bit worried. I got some texts. I guess it was Sunday morning, and people were saying it's Locked On Blue Jays the curse because you're there. And I'm like, whoa, let's not put that in the atmosphere. And sure enough, the boys got the win today. Saved us from that humiliation. But yeah, we got a lot of text over the weekend. We got a lot of support from all you guys. It was a great time. We're going to actually get into some stuff about the weekend, and then we also obviously have to preview the series against the White Sox.
Yeah, before we do head into segment 3, I just wanted to bring up the 24/7 streaming channel, either on the Amazon Fire TV channels app or Locked On Sports Today. Basketball playoffs, NHL playoffs, big Game 7 the day that this episode comes out. You guys should know at this point we're huge Canucks fans. It's going to be a ride. It's going to be a nail. It's going to be a nail biter. It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
I'm going to be nervous the entire game. I'm going to be sweating buckets, but we'll see what happens. I'm excited. This is what all fans live for, these moments. So if you want to get the expert analysis on these games, just go to either the Locked On Sports Today channel or the Amazon Fire TV channels app. So we're going to kind of get into some other game stuff and just our experience at the Rogers Center coming up.
Today's episode brought to you by LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Are you struggling to close deals? B2B selling is tougher than ever, and that's why I want to tell you about LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a sales intelligent platform that helps professionals effectively prospect and engage high-value customers, drive higher revenue, and increase sales performance. Sales Navigator helps you target the rich buyers, surface key signals such as job changes or which accounts you should prioritize, and shows you hidden allies so you can find those buyers that are most likely to convert. Fueled by LinkedIn's 1 billion member platform, Sales Navigator gives you the most up-to-date first-party data, enabling you to unlock conversations with people that matter. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/lockedon. That is linkedin.com/lockedon for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/lockedon and get started. So let's go a little bit into the weekend. Sort of not a full play-by-play because, we were a little bit banged up. But
still are a little bit banged up.
But let's start on the Friday night. The Friday we get into Toronto pretty early, honestly, in the day. I think did we immediately go for food?
Yeah. We got off the train. That was kind of a struggle as well. Just 4 meatheads in a big city.
Yeah.
Just, maybe 3. I won't throw Justin in with us, but I mean, with how I've never been here obviously before. Yeah. You guys have been here, but it was a long time ago. You probably weren't really in charge of the directions at that point. But with the trains, we had a little bit of trouble there. But I was in awe when we saw the city, saw the skyline, the transit, just everything, honestly.
Yeah, coming from Winnipeg, it is a big city, but it's a small big city. So just being in Toronto, it's pretty cool. Like, I mean, I mentioned on the live stream, but I'm a civil engineer, and I was in awe with all like the infrastructure, as nerdy as that sounds, but it's true. It's pretty cool here, like seeing all this kind of stuff.
It is. It's very cool, and I think that's the difference. When I think maybe people in Toronto take it a little bit for granted. I think how nice the downtown is. You're walking around down by the ballpark. Everybody's there for the same reason. And I know the homeless problem, it's a big deal in Winnipeg right now. And maybe we're just not in the right part of Toronto to see it. But overall, our experience, it is super clean, super nice, great people, honestly.
I got one thing actually that I noticed right away. Everyone is in the biggest rush of all time here.
Yes.
The light turns green. Well, like we're right downtown. So the light turns green and it's about half a second and there's somebody honking. You can't even tell where they are even. But that's what I think. I guess the city that never sleeps, right? I mean,
that's what it feels like.
Compared to Winnipeg, it was absolutely crazy. But some of the people watching, some of the experiences we've had, especially on that Friday night, were unforgettable to say the least.
Yeah. No, it was good. We went out to, I think it's called Rockin' Horse.
That bar could have been called anything.
It could have been called Left Leg is Here. And
I say unforgettable, but I already forgot the first bar we went to.
Yeah.
I mean, that shows that we had a great night.
It was fun. We walked down. There was actually some people from Manitoba, some people from Toronto that reached out as well. So we went down, met up with everybody there, and that was a good time. I think the cover was a little bit more expensive than we thought it would be.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't a problem in the second night anyway, and that's the game we saw Daniel, right? Was the first game?
First game we saw Daniel too, yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to shout him out again because, I mean, absolute genuine dude. I love the interaction. Like I always say, he gave us some score predictions. I think he said 3-2.
Yeah.
And I think that was for the second game we lost 4-3. So he was close. But, I mean, just a great guy. But moving on to the Saturday. The Saturday probably was my favorite day so far. We still have, as we're recording this, we got a Sunday night. So we're going to see how that goes. But with how the morning is going to go, I feel like it's gonna be a rough time. But I mean, hey, we're in Toronto. We're only in Toronto probably once a year, so I mean, you got to take advantage of it, right?
You got to take advantage of it. No, the Saturday night. I mean, again, it's just amazing people. I think that we've met through this podcast, and I think that's one of my favorite things that comes out of this is just getting to meet people that maybe you wouldn't necessarily otherwise meet. Again, John, absolutely. Unbelievable. We went actually to the bar that he was playing at, and it was electric. It was really cool. Something that again we wouldn't see in Winnipeg. So I think that was a cool experience as well.
Well, especially when that bar is open till 4 a.m. That's something that we have to get used to. Because he told us when to come, and he's like, "Yeah, this place doesn't really pick up until 12:30." And in Winnipeg, that's like the main part of the night. I'd say that's probably the busiest part of the night. So that was a little bit of an adjustment period. I'm running off of very little sleep right now. I'm sure you guys are as well. But overall, I mean, again, I wouldn't have traded it for anything. But my bank account definitely took a dent that night.
Yeah, I just actually just bought a Davis Schneider baby blue jersey, and like. That hurts on top of everything else as well. Toronto's a pricey little city here.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah, I actually also just picked up this baby blue
Chris Bassett, baby.
Chris Bassett.
And we got the Hound on the Mound bobbleheads to also go with that on Friday night. They were handing them out for country night, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, very cool weekend, honestly. I think it's just different too being at the game. Like, you can go order a jersey online or something. But when you're here, it's like, you know what? You're walking around, you're seeing stuff. You're like, okay, jersey it is, I guess.
Oh, 100%. You can't go to the Rogers Center without copping a Blue Jays jersey. But one more thing that I wanted to get into was, I can't really remember because it was in and out of the head right there. Well, jeez, it's been a weekend.
It has been a weekend.
I'll get it. So I'll find it.
We're getting through. I think let's get into the series.
There, one more thing. I got it back.
Okay.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because we're in the flesh. Maybe we were just trying to spin zone it that the Blue Jays were going to change something when we were here. I don't know why, but I expected them just to score runs. I wanted them so badly to turn it around. Mentally, in my head, or in my heart, I should say, I think I knew that they weren't going to sweep the series. But in that Friday episode, Dal got me fired up. So, I mean, I tried to will the Jays to at least a series win. Didn't end up happening. I mean, the Jays scored, what, 3? It was 2, 4, and then 5. So that's 11, right?
3, 4, 5.
Yeah, was it 3, 4, 5?
Yeah, they did outscore Tampa this series 12-11, but unfortunately that doesn't directly correlate with the series win. But maybe it's a sign of good things to come.
No, we got exactly what Blue Jays baseball is. We had great starting pitching the entire weekend. Bullpen was okay. It's depending on which way you look from it.
It was. I don't even want to say okay. I don't think it was great.
And then you get that first game, which is just, I don't expect a lot from this team, but that was something else. But going into this, I did say I had 2 stipulations. I didn't have a lot for the Blue Jays. I said I wanted competitive games. The first game is probably the only debatable one for that. And then I said I wanted 1 win. Took to the last game to get that win, but I guess in a sense the Blue Jays did do what I asked of them. It sucks that we're looking at a team that's 20-25, and I'm happy about 1 win. But honestly, the Jays could have got perfect games all 3 games. Just being at the Rogers Center, it was going to be a fun experience no matter what.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference, right? Like, and maybe you guys will notice that we're maybe not as negative on these games as maybe we usually are. And that's a little bit of the bias being here, and we're going to acknowledge that. Like, you know what I mean? It just is what it is.
If I watch this series on TV, that Friday game on TV,
hey, it's a good thing it was on Apple TV.
Yeah. Thanks to Apple TV. If a lot of you guys probably don't watch it, I know my family just if it's on Apple TV, it's just we're not watching the Blue Jays game today. Yeah. So I'm out on Apple TV. I know you guys are as well. I understand why it's there, but it makes it just harder to watch. Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to skew away viewership from the Blue Jays, especially on a long weekend. But I don't know. Take the L, Apple TV. So unfortunately for that,
I think we need a beauties in a bust list. Apple TV would be on the bust.
Yeah, I mean the winners of the weekend are definitely John Daniel's a winner.
Yeah,
Bogey's a winner for sure.
Oh yeah,
Alek Manoah's a winner.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. Honestly,
there's a lot more winners than I think the Blue Jays organization as a whole is the loser of the weekend. With how they played the baseball games, like you said, it's definitely the in-person bias. Like I said, we could have gotten no hit every single game, and I still would have had a good time. So, you got anything else to add? I guess we got a little bit of movement here from Jarvis Owasco. Finally, it's about time. This guy's
he's ready to go.
There.
He's back. He's back.
Wait, well, I got one more thing actually. So we went out for after the Jays game Sunday, and Braden decided to get the hottest chicken tenders that I may have ever seen in my life. This guy was going through a war to try to get these things down.
I'm not going to lie to you. The guy came up and he goes, these are very hot. He threw on him. I'm like, whatever, it's probably fine.
He was kind of big dogging a little bit. He's like, hot's nothing to me, right? And then, they won the war. The chicken tenders won the war. He couldn't even get all of them down. But
my hands were actually like, when it's like that tingling of like whatever? I had tingling in my hands and my legs, sweating, but also like cold. It was the worst. I had to go to the bathroom. It was the worst experience. I'm just an idiot for ordering them, but I didn't know what else I wanted on the menu. So I'm like, let's just go with it.
Well, and if you know anything about Braden, it's hard to get this guy to stop talking, but he was very silent for a good 15 minutes there.
It was the best 15 minutes of this trip.
We needed it bad. So thank you to those chicken tenders for finally getting this guy to just stop yapping for a second.
I've been on like battling the toilet the rest of the day.
I'm sure they wanted to hear that as well, and I think that's where we're gonna.
It's a part of it. It's a part. No, we gotta do the preview.
True. We did. Yeah, we got to do the White Sox preview.
So we got the White Sox. What should it be? It should be a Blue Jays series sweep.
If this isn't a series win,
this
is a must win.
For sure.
Easily must win. So the White Sox are so bad.
They're terrible.
They are terrible. This team is laughable to say the least. And the Blue Jays, this is a season-turning series, you could say. If you lose a series to the Chicago White Sox,
pack it up.
It might have to be got on the sell train. Because, God. I don't even want to put that in the world. But, Justin, I guess I'll give it to you. I don't have the pitcher probables.
I got
it. I'll try to round them off. Let's see if I can think through this. Yeah. So, obviously, we had Manoah today. So, it should be Barrios, Kikuchi, Bassett.
Barrios, Kikuchi, Bassett. And they are going – actually, I don't even know. You're going to have to help me with this name.
Fed? I don't know who that is either.
Anyway, a pitcher on the White Sox, Crochet, and then Clevenger. So, we get 2 guys that, Clevenger's horrible.
Yeah, Crochet, he's had his moments.
Yeah.
He started out very hot. I think he's kind of fallen off recently. Yeah. But, again, this White Sox offense is not good. I'm not worried about the pitching. It's pretty much going to be, can we score, honestly, 4 runs against the White Sox, which is a crazy concept that we have to keep going over on this podcast. But I guess I'll give it to you, Justin, first. Give us a series prediction for this White Sox series.
I think, based off of what we saw from Sunday's game, they're going to keep playing the way that they did that game. They're going to roll into the White Sox series. They're going to win the first game. They're going to win the second game. And they're going to win the third game. It's going to be a sweep.
Okay. Okay, I like that. And you know what, Jap, I wish I could ride the train with you. I really want to, but I've learned better by this point a little bit, I think, because they keep letting me down. I'm going to go 2-1 still for the Blue Jays. I think this is a must win. I love the sweep. What I wouldn't do for a Blue Jays series sweep. But I'm going to go 2-1, and I'm going to go a Barrios win and a Kikuchi win, and then I'm going to have Bassett getting the loss.
I got 2-1 as well, but a little differently. We need a Barrios win. I have a win there as well. I actually got Kikuchi losing just based off not his pitching. The offense isn't going to show up. Crochet is going to go 8 innings or something.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be terrible. And then Bassett will get the win. I love what I saw from Chris Bassett. And one more thing, again, this is a little bit off-brand, I guess, again. But looking at Chris Bassett, though, this was my first baseball game of this weekend. There's gold eyes, but nothing MLB caliber I've ever seen other than maybe Braden's high school at-bats. But with this weekend, Chris Bassett he's not a hard thrower necessarily, but being live in person, like you always think, like on TV, it's like, oh, this doesn't look that hard. I'm not even getting close to touching any of Chris Bassett's pitches. There's no way I would have a chance at the plate.
The movement.
Insane.
We actually said the Alek Manoah's movement on his pitches live is otherworldly.
His slider is so disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm all the way back in on Alek Manoah. Maybe there's some bias there, but I don't care. I'm writing some positives. When the offense sucks this bad, Alek Manoah's had 2 straight starts. I know we've been very hard on him, but going back to our bold predictions, I had Manoah as a 3.5 ERA, which sounded absolutely insane when I said it. Still does kind of sound insane, but I think he's actually lower than 3.5 right now.
Yeah, you know what? He might be back. I don't want to say that yet because it's only been 3 outings, and it could go the other way.
And let's be honest, he's not hitting home runs. I mean, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Unless Alek Manoah is going to start hitting at the plate, because this offense is just terrible to say the least.
It is. Again, we want to thank you guys for listening. It has been an absolute pleasure meeting some of you guys. Being out in Toronto has just been excellent. The support that you guys have shown is great. We got a bunch of TikToks we made outside of Rogers with some fans. You guys should tune into those. You can look at those at Locked On Blue Jays on TikTok and Instagram, and they should actually be up here on YouTube as well. Check those out. Subscribe if you're new here, and follow us on Twitter. Braden 5 Wasco, Carter First 2, and Justin. You want to? I don't know. Are you active on your Twitter?
No, I've been staying off Twitter. It's for my mental health.
Ever since the Jets.
After the Winnipeg Jets lost their playoff series, I haven't gone on it.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of a disorganized episode, I guess you could say. But
we don't have our normal setup. We're sort of piecing things together here. But we wanted to get an episode out because it's a lot of fun just being in the city, talking Blue Jays.
Oh, 100%. I'm going to take one more opportunity to throw it over to the Locked On 24/7 streaming channel, Locked On Sports Today, or the Amazon Fire TV channels app. Expert analysis. Why not check it out? It's a perfect opportunity. I guess, we got one more night. We might as well live it up, right?
One more night.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.